Dr. Amna Khan was actually one of the judges on last year's Make a Difference Awards, and you were there at the ceremony, wasn't it? I'm not just saying this because I was hosting it, but it was just such a special evening, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. It brought all of Manchester together, and we were celebrating so many different things in the community, so many different awards, and I think it was just time to recognise Mancunians, and I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, it was a fantastic night. And which category did you judge again? Can you remember?
I can't remember.
There was just so many incredible winners. It was really moving. So yeah, nominations are now open. Dr. Amna Khan, you are a powerlifting champion in the UK. You also are a retail expert at Manchester Met. You're here to tell us what is trending today. What stories have caught your eye?
So this story caught my eye basically because of the misconceptions about diet, which was basically that many consumers actually shun away carbs. But Greg Wallace, presenter of MasterChef, was talking about how you shouldn't avoid carbs such as pasta and potatoes. Really what we should try and do is prioritise cooking at home, reducing your takeaways, and stop snacking. And if we just get a balance of eating good healthy foods with a little bit of exercise, you can actually lose a lot more weight. Now, I'm on the fitness circuit, and I know that there's so many misconceptions that people always say, just cut out your carbs, you'll lose weight. You need your carbs for energy. You need your carbs to work out.
I'm so glad you've come on the show today. Telling me to eat more carbs.
I love my carbs.
It is a myth, isn't it, that if you cut out the carbs, if you reduce it, you will lose weight. But is that not true then at all?
I'm sure you will lose weight, but can you keep it consistent and sustainable? That's the issue, isn't it? Because as soon as you add the carbs into your diet again, you're going to have issues. Whereas what Greg was saying, and many dietitians say this, just keep it balanced. If you keep it balanced, because you need carbs for energy, because they're a source of energy that you don't get from, say, your proteins or your fats. So it's about creating balance. And I think that's really important, because sometimes you cut out one food category and you think you've lost lots of weight, and you will have lost lots of weight, and as soon as you put it back into your diet, your weight creeps up. You just keep yo-yoing, and it's not great for you either.
No. All right, so is it more about slow burning carbs? Because I love a bit of white bread, and I know how bad it is for you. But if you have brown bread or brown rice, that whole wheat stuff, that's good for you.
I've heard a lot about that as well, the difference between white and brown. When I've worked with nutritionalists in the past, they have asked me to stay with, say, the browns rather than the whites. I think it's because it's more refined than white and processed. And I think your body breaks the brown better down, so that helps as well. More nutrition. As an athlete, you have to keep making sure what you put in your body is great. So I think the brown is where people push you to, but I think there's science against that as well. There's so much science out there. I find it a bit confusing when I start to think about it.
Okay, happy Monday. Eat your carbs. What else is trending today?
I've got to talk about female power when we're on here. But
Thank you.
The Grammys have literally just blown everybody away with how many female awards. And Taylor Swift's done it again. She's made history. 4 Grammys for the best album. And she puts her ahead of Frank Sinatra. And I'm a bit like, really, she's the epitome of a superwoman, isn't she, in music, in pop culture? It's brilliant.
Yeah, and I was saying before to Mark and Paul that I've become a bit of a Swiftie of late. I know, I never thought that would happen, but I just started listening to some of the latest stuff on the album Midnight, which is what she won the Grammy for. I was like, oh, I really like this. And then you start looking through the back catalogue, you're like, oh gosh, I like that song, I like that song. I'm a Swiftie, here I am. But yeah, it's great to see women do so well. I mean, I think women just won across the board, didn't they?
Yeah, I think there were lots of female awards this year. Like, I was looking at the various categories and it seemed to be female, 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 female. Yeah. Which I think it's about time. We have well and truly arrived, and it's all about female empowerment, and that is just brilliant. And it is great to see that there's so much representation in many different spaces that there didn't used to be, and especially at that level that was predominantly always dominated by males.
Well, it was also a big night for Miley Cyrus and Billie Eilish, who also took home some top prizes. Now, the BBC North America correspondent Emma Vardy had the job of the night. She was actually in Los Angeles at the red carpet.